My wife came back after 2 weeks away with her ex. She called it closure. I did not challenge her, did not change my tone. While clearing the table, I asked one simple question. She froze halfway through, standing up, did not look at me, did not sit back down, just reached for her phone with shaking hands. I am 37, and I thought I knew my wife. We had been married for 9 years, met in our late 20s, dated for 2 years before getting married, built what I thought was a solid life together. She worked in marketing, I had my own career, we had a house, a dog, routines that felt comfortable. No kids yet, but we had been talking about it. About 3 months ago, her ex contacted her, the ex. The one she dated for 4 years before me. The one she said was her first real love. The one whose name still occasionally came up in stories about her 20s. He had reached out through social media, said he was going through a divorce, wanted to reconnect with old friends. Innocent enough, or so she presented it. She asked if I minded if she grabbed coffee with him. Just coffee, just catching up. I said, fine, because what else was I supposed to say? If I had said no, I would be the controlling husband. So I said yes, and tried not to think about it. One coffee turned into regular texts. I would see her smiling at her phone in ways she had not smiled at me in months. When I asked about it, she would say they were just talking old memories, nothing serious. Then came the request that changed everything. He is really struggling with the divorce, she said one night while we were getting ready for bed. He asked if I would be willing to spend some time with him, help him process things. He does not have anyone else. Spend time with him how? He wants to take a trip, the place we used to go when we were dating. He thinks it would help him find closure. I stopped brushing my teeth. A trip? Just a weekend. Maybe a week. He needs support. And he wants his ex-girlfriend to provide that support while he is going through a divorce? It is not like that. What is it like then? It is closure for both of us. We never really ended things properly, it just fizzled out. He thinks if we can revisit that place, have some real conversations, we can both move forward. You want to take a week-long trip with your ex-boyfriend to get closure. When you say it like that, it sounds bad. How else should I say it? She sat on the edge of the bed. I need this. I did not realize how much unresolved stuff I still had with him until we started talking again. It is affecting us. Our marriage. I can feel it. Our marriage was fine until he showed up. Was it? Be honest. That stopped me. Because she was right in a way. Things had been fine, comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Maybe we had been coasting, but I did not think the solution was her running off with an ex-boyfriend. How long, I asked? 2 weeks? 2 weeks? He wants to really work through things, not rush it. And you agreed to this? I told him I needed to talk to you first. But yes, I want to go. I need to go. I think it will help us. Help me figure out what I really want. That last sentence hung in the air like poison. What you really want. You are not sure anymore? I am saying I have things to work through, and I cannot do that while I am here, living our normal life. I need space to think. We argued for another hour. I said it was insane. She said I was being insecure. I said she was asking permission to have an emotional affair. She said I was making it into something it was not. Round and round until I was exhausted. In the end, I did not explicitly say yes, but I did not say no either. I just went silent, and she took that as permission. She left 3 days later, packed a suitcase, kissed me on the cheek like she was leaving for a work conference, and drove away. Update 1. The first week was hell. She texted sporadically. Made it safely. Weather is nice. Having good conversations. Nothing substantial. Nothing that told me what was actually happening. I tried to keep busy. Went to work. Came home. Walked the dog. Watched shows I did not care about. Friends asked where she was. I said she was visiting family. I was not about to admit my wife was on a 2-week romantic getaway with her ex, under the guise of closure. By day 10, the texts stopped completely. Nothing for 3 days. I called twice. Both went to voicemail. I texted asking if she was okay. No response. On day 13, I got a single message. Coming home tomorrow. We should talk. She walked in the door at 6:30 on a Tuesday evening, tanned, relaxed, looking more at peace than I had seen her in years. She hugged me, and I stood there with my arms at my sides, not sure what to do. How was it? I asked. Good. Really good. I am glad I went. Did you get your closure? I think so, yeah. She did not elaborate, just started unpacking her suitcase, hanging clothes back in the closet like nothing had happened, like she had been gone for a normal trip, and not 2 weeks with an ex-boyfriend I had been imagining her with every single night. Are we going to talk about it? I asked. Let me settle in first. I am exhausted. She showered, changed into comfortable clothes, came downstairs. I had made dinner, nothing fancy, just pasta, and we sat across from each other at the kitchen table. So, I said, tell me about the trip. It was what I needed. We talked a lot. work through old feelings. I understand now why things ended with us, why they had to end. And and I have clarity now about what I want. My stomach dropped, which is I want to make our marriage work. I know that now. Being with him made me realize what I have with you. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt suspicious. Being with him, spending time with him, talking with him, you know what I mean? She reached across the table for my hand. I moved it to pick up my water glass. Her hand hung in the air for a second before she pulled it back. I know this is weird. I know it is not conventional, but I am being honest with you. I needed to do this to know for sure. And now I know. I want us. We ate in silence for a few minutes. I was trying to process, trying to figure out if I believed her, trying to decide if it even mattered if I believed her. Did you sleep with him? I asked finally. Is that really what matters? Yes. I do not think we should focus on physical details. What matters is where we go from here. That is not an answer. I am not going to give you an answer that lets you torture yourself with images. It is not helpful. But it happened. She did not respond. Just looked down at her plate. I stood up, started clearing the table. She stood too, gathering her dishes. We moved around the kitchen in a choreographed silence. Her washing, me drying, like we had done 1,000 times before. While I was putting a plate in the cabinet, I asked it. The question that had been forming in my mind since she walked in the door. If he was not going through a divorce, I said, voice completely calm, if he was available, would you have come back? She froze, halfway through standing up from loading the dishwasher. Did not look at me, did not sit back down, just stood there, bent at an awkward angle, one hand still on the dishwasher door. Then she reached for her phone with shaking hands. Update 2. What are you doing? I asked. I need to call someone. Who? My sister. I need to talk to my sister. Answer my question first. She straightened up, phone clutched in both hands. That is not fair. That is a hypothetical that does not mean anything. It means everything. Answer it, I am here. Are I not? I came back. Because he is not available. Because he is going through a divorce and probably told you he was not ready for something serious. Answer the question. If he was available, would you be standing in this kitchen right now? Her face crumpled. I do not know. You do not know. I am confused. I thought I had clarity, but now you are asking these questions and I am confused again. You are confused because you know the answer and you do not want to say it. That is not fair. You spent 2 weeks with your ex-boyfriend, probably sleeping with him, definitely falling back in love with him, and you came back here because it did not work out. Not because you chose me, because he was not an option. And now you are trying to reframe it as some kind of journey of self-discovery that led you back to our marriage. You are twisting everything. Am I? Tell me I am wrong. Tell me he said he wanted to be with you, and you said no because you were married. Tell me that happened. She could not. She just stood there, tears running down her face, phone still in her hands. Call your sister, I said. I am going for a drive. I grabbed my keys and left. Drove around for 2 hours with no destination. My phone rang 6 times. I did not answer. When I finally came back, it was almost midnight. Her sister's car was in the driveway. I went to a hotel. Update 3. I stayed at that hotel for 3 days. She texted constantly, called, begged me to come home so we could talk. Her sister texted too, saying I was being unreasonable, that I needed to at least hear her out. On day 3, I went back to the house while she was at work. Packed a bag with enough clothes for a week. Left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter. That got her attention. She came home early. Found me loading the last of my things into my car. What are you doing? Leaving. You cannot just leave. Watch me. We need to talk about this. There is nothing to talk about. You made your choice. You are just upset it did not work out the way you wanted. That is not true. Then tell me what is true. Tell me exactly what happened on that trip. She looked at me, mouth opening and closing, trying to find words that would make this okay. There were not any. We were together, she said finally. Not the whole time. But yes, we were together. And I thought maybe we could try again. But he said he was not ready. He said he needed time to process his divorce, to figure out what he wanted. He said maybe in a year, if we were both still available. He benched you. What? He benched you. Put you on hold. And you came back here because you could not just sit around waiting for him. No, I came back because I realized this is where I belong. You realized that after he rejected you. Not before. Not during. After. She started sobbing. I made a mistake. I know I did, but I am here now trying to fix it, and you will not even give me a chance. A chance? You want me to give you a chance? You took 2 weeks to give him a chance. 2 weeks of my life where I sat here wondering if my wife was falling back in love with someone else. And I was right. She was. The only reason you are standing here is because He said no. And you want me to just accept that and move on? I love you. No. You love the safety of this. You love having someone who will be here when your romantic adventures do not work out. But you do not love me. Not the way a wife should love a husband. I got in my car. She grabbed the door, trying to keep me from closing it. Please do not do this. Please. We can go to counseling. We can work through this. Let go of the door. I will not. I will not let you leave like this. You let yourself leave for 2 weeks. I can leave for however long I want. I pulled the door closed, started the engine. She stood in the driveway crying as I drove away. Update 4. I stayed with a friend for a week. My phone never stopped. Her texts evolved from apologetic to angry to desperate. Her sister called, her mother called, even her father called, telling me I was throwing away a good marriage over a mistake. A mistake. Like she had forgotten to pick up milk, not had a 2-week affair with her ex. On day 8, I finally called a lawyer, just to understand my options. The lawyer was straightforward. It would be messy, but doable. We had been married 9 years, had joint assets, a house. It would take time, but it could be done. I did not file immediately. I just sat with the information, tried to figure out what I actually wanted. Did I want to divorce her? Part of me did. The part that felt betrayed, humiliated, replaced. But another part, the part that remembered 9 years of mostly good times, that part hesitated. On day 12, she showed up at my friend's place. I do not know how she found me, but she did. We need to talk, she said when I opened the door. I do not think we do. Please, just give me 30 minutes. That is all I am asking. Against my better judgment, I let her in. We sat in my friend's living room. He had made himself scarce, and she talked. Told me everything. How the trip started innocent, really was just talking at first. But then old feelings came back. The familiarity, the history, the nostalgia. They slept together on night 4. Spent the next week acting like a couple again. On the last night, she had asked him what this meant, if they were getting back together. He had said he was not ready, needed time, maybe someday. She had spent the entire drive home trying to figure out what to do. Came to the conclusion that she had made a massive mistake. That what she had with me was real and lasting, and what she had with him was just nostalgia. I do not believe you, I said when she finished. I am telling the truth. I believe you are telling the truth about what happened. I do not believe you about your feelings. I think you are here because plan A did not work out, and I am plan B. And I am not interested in being anyone's backup plan. You are not my backup plan. Then what am I? Because from where I am sitting, you left your husband to see if you could rekindle things with an ex. It did not work out. Now you are back trying to salvage what you threw away. That is literally the definition of a backup plan. I love you. I know I hurt you. I know I betrayed your trust. But I do love you. And I want to fix this. How? How do you fix this? How do I ever trust you again? How do I not wonder every time you text someone or take a work trip or say you need space if you are going back to him? We can go to counseling. Counseling is for people who want to save something worth saving. I am not sure this is anymore. She left an hour later. I had promised to think about it, to consider counseling. But honestly, I had already made up my mind. Final update. I filed for divorce 2 weeks later. She did not contest it, did not fight me on anything. We split assets fairly, sold the house, divided everything down the middle. The divorce was finalized 4 months after she took that trip. 9 years of marriage ended because she could not let go of an ex-boyfriend. I found out later, through mutual friends, that she and the ex did get back together about 5 months after our divorce. Apparently, he had processed his divorce and was ready to try again. They lasted 6 months before breaking up again. Something about old patterns repeating, neither of them being willing to change. She tried to reach out to me after that breakup. Long message about how she had ruined the best thing in her life, how she understood now what she had lost, how she had spent the past year learning hard lessons about herself. I did not respond, because here is what I learned. Some people need to blow up their entire life to figure out what they want, and some people, like me, need to let them do it and walk away. Could I have fought for the marriage? Gone to counseling? Tried to work through the betrayal? Maybe. But I asked myself that question while clearing the table, and her reaction told me everything I needed to know. She froze because she knew the truth. If he had been available, if he had said yes, she would not have come back. And I refuse to spend my life wondering if I am someone's second choice. I am 37 years old. I am divorced. I am living in a smaller apartment and rebuilding my life from scratch. But I am not anyone's backup plan anymore. And honestly, that feels better than the last year of my marriage ever did. She wanted closure with him. I got closure from her. Funny how that works.